Let me tell you right now, the game industry has a huge chunk of it falling apart. Constant dark money patterns, soulless live service garbage, and big studios making the dumbest decisions imaginable. And it's a straight up mess. But here's the crazy part. I've been a gamer all my life, and I'm more hopeful about the future of this industry than I have been in years. Stick around because we're going to talk about and chat about exactly why that is. Let's start with the pretense that you and I both know exactly what's wrong with the industry right now. We just need to talk about it and name it together. A big section of AAA is dying. The formula was and always has been simple. Make games that people want to buy. Make quality products. And a huge section of the industry has largely failed. And it's mostly, entirely, their frickin' fault. Stupid, rushed, broken, tone deaf, out of touch, release after release from all of our once favorite franchises and developers and beyond. They have advanced down this particular timeline that we're all in for the worse. Some have lost their way. Some have been completely divorced from creativity and cater to the lowest common denominator. Some have spent almost a decade, 8 years, to make the most mid-generic sci-fi world that is neither NASA nor punk and does not have any of the major staples that made them popular in the first place. This is some of the most cringe-ass shit I've ever seen. And to further my elaboration, some companies simply no longer carry any of the same talent, leadership, and key influential people who built what we love. Whoever they are, they're no longer there. And now the only thing that's still the same is the name of the company or the team. And let's not get it twisted either. We are all aware of the fact that just like every other facet of entertainment and culture, the woke mind virus has also invaded the industry of video games, wreaking havoc on studios by pushing a gay-coded or inclusive-coded agenda, so many franchises and products flop as they cater to the mythical modern audience. All of that has been proven to be a deep state BlackRock experiment. This is all a very long-winded way of simply saying that the manufactured zeitgeist culture war ended up in our video games as well. So frankly, all of this shit has sucked. And some of these companies, it has nothing to do with anything we've said so far. Sometimes they just don't know when to let franchises stay finished, to let the story end. Master Chief's story ended with Halo 3. The rest is a dream brought on from the DMT secretion in his pineal gland and in cryosleep. Let the franchise rest. We haven't even talked about the money schemes yet. In the last 8 to 10 years, we have seen a new wave of dark, scummy, predatory monetization in our video games. You cannot sit here and tell me that it's ethically okay to sell a virtual skin on a gun and blade for $100. Even by today's standards, 100 USD is still a lot of money, even though the USD has lost 27% of its purchasing power in the last 5 years. No big deal. My point is, the word to use is no longer microtransactions. It's exploitation through manipulating your psychology. Our industry is rife with dark money patterns and unethical money systems designed to manipulate and siphon your financial and emotional currency. For many companies, it hasn't paid off. And for others, it has. Let's list off the bullshit tactics, shall we? FOMO-driven battle passes and season passes with time gains. Think how Battlefield 6 does it right now. Artificial scarcity and rotating limited time offers. Think Helldivers 2 Superstore. Monetization of basic quality of life features like the map packs in Assassin's Creed. Imagine paying $10 additional on top of your full-priced $60 to $70 game for activities and locations to be highlighted in your in-game map? How about the darkest one of them all, gacha mechanics? It's coded in the language, guys. If you want to talk about S-tier psychological control systems, gacha mechanics are a fucking cancer. Let's call it what it is. Randomized virtual items bought with real money or premium currency, exploiting variable ratio reinforcement to make you a gambling simp for your favorite virtual waifu or a product that has a shelf life of like half a year. I hope you realize that the corpo suits are hosting meetings behind closed doors to talk about how to psychologically fuck you and take your money for everything you're worth. They do not give a shit about you, your family, or your well-being. And in some cases, their toxic schemes work so well that you have hundreds of examples around the world, like a Japanese family going bankrupt because the husband secretly blows $108,000 of their family inheritance on mobile game weapons. Or imagine being farmed for $130,000 on a Diablo mobile game because Blizzard psychologically manipulated you into thinking it was worth it somehow. Imagine the sunken cost fallacy on something like that. You will live the rest of your life lying to yourself, trying to justify something like that, regardless of how much money you make. It is a colossal waste of money. Or how about, as early as 2015, you got a 14-year-old kid in a 24-month period spending $13,500 on Clash of Clans, Counter-Strike, Pokemon Go, and on essentially what? Bullshit. That's what. Time savers. Systems that perpetrate the use of consumable items that can be purchased for real-world currency. You know for a fact that this is happening all over the world, where games are accessible to quantities that would shock us. It sickens me that the governments around the world haven't collectively put their foot down on money schemes that have the potential to utterly exploit all of your financial resources and pull your emotional levers of your hairless bipedal monkey life. So everything that I have just discussed has contributed to quite a mess in the games industry. Let me give you a few personal stories. I remember being so hyped for the first Outer Worlds, a new RPG made by Obsidian, makers of New Vegas, the obviously superior Fallout game compared to 3 that was only made in 18 months because they weren't given any more time by Bethesda? Yes, that Obsidian. It released in 2019 straight to Game Pass, and I dove in at release. And what did I get? A product that was nowhere near the depth or artistic merit. The RPG mechanics were significantly watered down. A major lack of weapon variety, and the world design became just increasingly unappealing and uninteresting. The premise of the story was cool, and yet everything felt forgettable. The only character that was genuinely fun to interact with in that game was Pavardi. But I remember being like 30 to 40 hours in, and I picked up an MK3 version of the same exact gun that I had in the beginning of the game, and I realized I hated the gun tier system so much that it was the nail in the coffin for me to not even finish the game. Oh well. My point is that it was evident at that point that it was no longer the same team of humans that made the previous game that I liked. Even though the game has sold over 5 million lifetime copies, many people have seemed to agree with me because Outer Worlds 2 has flopped hard. Take a look at this. Based on available industry reports, leaks, the data that we have from analysts, Outer Worlds 1 cost a total estimated $50 to $7 million. With factoring all of the different price points of the game, it has a lifetime global sales of approximately $85 to $120 million. So by all metrics, that's a success. And even more impressive knowing that it was on Game Pass. Outer Worlds 2 was a big floopy doopy, estimated to have sold, up to this point, less than 1 million copies of the game, and yet it was definitely confirmed to have a much higher budget than the first game, like 3 times the amount. With only an estimated $35 million in profit, this would have bankrupted any studio. The previous release in the same year was also a massive flop. Avowed did not resonate with a lot of players. Avowed cost around the same budget, being in development for 6 years, with an estimated total cost of $110 to $170 million. Again, estimated to have only sold 200 to 500,000 copies. This is a massive financial failure. If we combine these two together, if we go super generous and combine the lowest price range to the estimated highest possible sales, you will see Obsidian spent estimated $260 million to make a very high estimate of $80 million. A simple 1-to-1 return ratio would show that for every dollar they spend, they got 30 cents in return. In other words, you are failing the game of business. They have recovered about 35% of their total investment on just these two products. The only reason that they are still a thing is because Microsoft owns them, and maybe because Grounded 2 is a smashing hit for them. I know Grounded 1 was really fun. This has all been one long example to show you that while the developer name might be the same, the staff is not, and it adds to the mess. Now, let's contrast with the good. At the same time that these huge franchises and teams are toppling over, we have seen a new rising tide of independent developers and teams rising to the surface to create games that we actually want to play. A whole new generation of talented, passionate people are believing in what they have to offer, leaving the AAA and toxic spaces behind to push the frontier and truly expand the world of video games in a way that respects gamers. Arc Raiders, with a core team of ex-DICE leadership, has been one of the best third-person shooter experiences I've had in years. A $40 price point for a solid 100+ hours of intense PvP and super unique PvE experience. The microtransactions are completely optional cosmetic stuff at a fair price point to continue supporting development. Because this stuff is expensive, of course, it's a service. They actually innovated on the technology of fighting opponents in video games because essentially you have AI learning to think for themselves and to make decisions in-game. I have another shining example. Claire Obscure, Expedition 33, hands down, no joke about it, my favorite video game story I have ever experienced. Led by an ex-Ubisoft employee fed up with the system, who sought out to make his dream a reality, Sandfall Interactive came together over the course of 6 to 7 years, and they poured their heart and soul into an absolute masterpiece. And if you don't believe so, I'm gonna kindly ask you to leave now. They made a really fucking cool French Belle Epoque and era-inspired ARPG. Its cultural impact has been massive. The story, the characters, the music especially, the gameplay. Such top-tier content that it won the development team of 28 core members, the Knighthoods, in the Order of Arts and Letters by the French Ministry of Culture. An extremely high cultural honor. That's what it looks like when you create from passion, and as I like to say, for the love of the game, and the market rewarded it. And as of April 2026, they have surpassed 8 million copies sold. The market rewards a quality product. The formula is simple. Make amazing games that people want to play. It had no agenda, no bullshit monetization. All updates have been free. Sandfall Interactive has continuously treated its customers with respect for their time and money. This is how the formula has always worked. And for that reason, I want to install in you a massive sense of optimism where before it honestly felt so bleak. I'm extremely hopeful about gaming's future because I believe we have entered the next golden age of gaming. The previous golden age was basically from 1995 to 2008. Now the barrier to entry in terms of accessibility and technology has lowered to the point where one guy can make a smash hit. A small team of 5 to 25 can not only make a great game, but also have a tremendous cultural impact. And they're showing the industry that you don't need to have massive inflated budgets to make tone-deaf, watered-down experiences for the masses. You don't need to psychologically manipulate your audience and show blatant disrespect. You don't need to nickel and dime every player. You can just make a great game, single player or multiplayer. The market is rewarding both. We vote with our wallet. I think consumers worldwide are waking up consciously beyond just the video game industry to products and services that simply don't respect their time, money, and energy, period. Consumers now more than ever before are looking to who they can really trust, who they really know will bring them the best value and respect. My hope is that these dark money patterns will naturally die out on their own because the global majority of us will simply realize it holds no value. We will consciously rise above the short-term manipulation and naturally gravitate towards real substance, real value, real products and services that tend to stand the test of time longer. And it's a simple vote with our wallet. The old AAA guard will just die out on its own. It's already happening. It is happening right now. The trash is taking itself out, all at their own hands, really. The next generation is rising to the top now, and I, for one, have wide open arms to whatever quality they have to offer. Even though things are definitely a mess and are falling apart for many, you have every reason to get excited for what's to come, for all the new IPs and franchises being born in this new golden age. I am personally so excited to see what Sandfall Interactive does next. P.S. It's an instant buy for me already. And I'm also really excited for Space Marine 3. I loved Space Marine 2 so much. It felt like the old Xbox 360 era. I genuinely want to know in the comments. Please tell me, what has been your favorite game you've played in the last 2, maybe 3 years? And why? I genuinely want to know. I want to read about the games you're most passionate for. Thank you. And we'll talk again soon. See ya.